another YouTube video. Now in today's video, guys, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, something that I have never done before. And like I said in my previous streams, if you were watching, it really could be anything. And I decided to do a book review on something new I read, because school is going to come back. They're going to do a 2-week summer school, so I decided to start reading my Goosebumps books just to get kind of in the mindset, I guess. And even though with all the controversy of school reopening with the whole pandemic, I am thinking that they're probably going to end up reopening schools, whether people like it or not. But the book I read it came from Beneath the Sink. So I'm not going to say anything about this book yet, rather than the fact that this is the original copy, so I'll be showing the original copy for most of the video. I didn't read out of the original copy, I read it out of the reprint copy, so you can see kind of the difference here. That way we can keep this pristine condition one in good condition. But before we start the review, I want to show you guys a couple things. So the first easy thing I want to show you, just to get out of the way, is I got the newest Slappy World book. I don't think there was any other new Slappy World books rather than Diary of a Dummy, which I think I was trying to show you guys in another video. But just to confirm, I do have all Slappy World books up to date, and the newest one is number 11. They call me the Night Howler. So I found this one at Barnes & Noble, and they're going to be making another one. Surprise, surprise. And it'll be called My Friend Slappy. So there's that. Just wanted to get that out of the way since we are doing a Goosebumps review. And right behind me, how convenient, I think I talked about Terraforming Mars in another video, and I didn't get the chance to show you some of the new expansions that I got for it. So I got the expansion Venus Next and the expansion Colonies, which I have not played with, but next time we play Terraforming Mars, I'm definitely going to try out that expansion. So yeah, I was originally going to make a how to play Terraforming Mars video, then I was going to make a Dead by Daylight tier list. Of course that didn't work, I'm pretty sure I said that to you. So it's been really hard for me to basically reach for an idea for a YouTube video after trying to make all these YouTube videos, and they just failed for YouTube. So I made sure that I'm going to make a shorter video that I know that will be able to process through YouTube, because the other videos, man, would they've been just so long. But just to give you the idea, Dead by Daylight tier list, I spent 4 days on just for it to say, YouTube to say no. I was going to have this funny bloopers and all this kind of stuff. But because I got the idea of bloopers, I would really like to do a bloopers on another long video. Definitely not this one. I don't think I'm really going to mess up that much on this one. I've already messed up once, but it really wasn't that funny. I just kind of mumbled to myself. That was about it. So if I make another large video, I'll definitely consider making a bloopers for you guys, since you guys didn't get to say that. With all that being said, I just want to make one more note. And you know, with everything going on, and I've said this in previous videos during the whole pandemic, but it's been like a month since I made a YouTube video, and I didn't really get to reach or tell you guys all my thoughts on a video and not just a stream. It's been really hard to really just anticipate doing anything lately, you know. At the end of the day, when I do make streams, I think to myself, should I just do a stream or should I not? And I was planning on doing a stream. It would have been a PUBG stream, because I am playing PUBG on console lately, and a little bit of Dead by Daylight, but not as much as I was previously. And I was just like, no, I really don't feel like it. I want to read my book, and there's so many different things I want to do, because school's going to come back. I don't want to stay up so late. You know, I've been trying to go to bed a lot earlier, because obviously you wake up pretty early. It's just been really hard lately. You know, not only with the virus going on and, you know, limiting all the things you can do and the fun that you can have. And don't get me wrong, I have been having fun. We've gone to the pool quite a few times this year. We went on a little vacation around Iowa. You know, we tried to make a vacation and our car got broken into, so that was just, it was a big bummer. It happened about a month ago. And then we had to deal with other things that I'd rather not talk about. And it's just been really, really tough. You know what I mean? So I just hope that when the school year comes back and in a few months that this will kind of die out, the numbers will decrease, that, I can get the anticipation to make videos more frequently again. But right now, I might just be making Goosebumps book reviews. I decided to do It Came From Beneath the Sink because I just read this book. I just finished it today. And my next book review will probably be like Welcome to Dead House, start from the beginning. And I'll make a playlist on this, and I'll make it in order. So it's kind of odd having It Came From Beneath the Sink first, but I will eventually assort them all in order. That way it makes sense if you're going off of the playlist, which I'm sure some people will. But yeah, that's just kind of give you an idea of everything going on, and I just wanted to make a video, and I haven't been able to make a video, so I finally get all of this off my chest, and yeah, let's talk about the book review now. So, let's talk about It Came From Beneath the Sink. What can I say that is really good about It Came From Beneath the Sink? The thing that stands out from this book, from other Goosebumps books, is like, it feels really original, Sure, you might have had these little short, films here and there where, there's a bad luck charm in the family and there's nothing you can do about it. This book, though, felt a lot different from others because it really felt original, A lot of the other Goosebumps books that you saw, they were good, don't get me wrong, but they weren't really original. Like, you could argue that A Scarecrow Walks at Midnight was kind of a knockoff from Jeepers Creepers. Or, Phantom of the Auditorium, that's been done before. It Came From Beneath the Sink, though, felt so different from anything that I've ever seen from a bad luck charm. It came from this idea of, you learn about halfway through the book that Daniel, he finds this book, which is the younger brother from the main character, which is his sister. He gets this encyclopedia of the weird that from the library, and he tells his sister that this sponge that you have is called a gruel. And I really like the originality of where this sparks from. And yeah, I really like the originality of this book. There was a lot of moments in this book that just were kind of cheesy, you know what I mean? And even in the episode, it was really cheesy too, like watching the ending where they were like singing to the sponge. But like some of the sponges sounds that they made in the book, like ba-boom, ba-boom, or it just felt a little bit weird from a sponge. I wish they didn't make it as cheesy as the sponge was. I didn't think it had to be that way. I think they could have made a different bad luck charm than a sponge. I think they could have done something different. But I'm not going to complain too much about the bad luck charm being a sponge. It was a great book nonetheless. Things started firing up really quick. You start off the book with the family moving into a new house, which is, a really good starting act. It kind of makes the kids miserable. They don't want to move to a new house. Then eventually they find a bad luck charm in the sink, and that's where things just go downhill. This book is so different from the other books. And the thing that stands out, I'll definitely say this, It Came From Beneath the Sink is a lot better. The book is a lot better than the episode for a couple reasons. The one main reason that I'll probably just, the only reason I'll say is it had so much like more bad luck acts that just felt so deadly and felt so like they felt so nerve-wracking because you don't know what to do in these situations. The book, or the episode, however, the bad lucks were like, break something, she breaks some like expensive plates, or her brother stepping onto glass and stumping over a tree branch, and just random things. This book, though, however, it just felt so much like more, I don't know, evil. Like the sponge just felt evil, and you could see the sponge being like a person, kind of like, the Chucky, the guy switched over to Chucky's body basically becomes this possessed doll. And it feels like this could be like a person feeding off of evil. And that's what I really liked about this book. Like, you could see the mentality of the sponge. It feeds off of evil. And that's really, really cool. The book had so much more moments where you got to see the bad luck. Obviously, the episode can only do so much because the episodes can't be an hour long. You know, they try to minimize them to about 20 minutes long without commercials. So the book just had so much more to offer. You had the girl almost getting ran over by a truck. Just all this crazy stuff that just it felt really evil from the sponge to do it. Obviously, you had the simple stuff, killer leaving, you know, all the stuff that already happened in the episode. But some of the bad luck charms that he gave to it was just so cool. And then when they tried to bury the sponge into the ground and it killed all the dead plants, it really, really showed, like, even if you try to get rid of it and it has nothing to feed off of, it will just kill everything around it. And that's what felt really good. And another thing that it really left you with throughout the book was, well, what do you do? Because if you let go of it, won't it kill it? Like, and, you know, the girl just kept asking herself, will it really kill me? And there were so many times in the book where you're like, oh God, I hope it doesn't happen. Of course, I already watched the episode, so I knew prior what this was going to happen. And I know Goosebumps. And I really had the mentality, I was like, I don't think they're going to kill her. I think they're going to go with the same plot twist at the end. And they did. Which is funny because they kept rumoring throughout the book. They talked about a lynx. I think they talked about it like 2 separate times. And, you know, if you read this book and, you know, you haven't watched the episode, you wouldn't think much of it. Like, even if you watched the episode and you heard about the lynx, because they did talk about it, you wouldn't think much of it. You're like, oh, it's probably just something else to name off. And then at the end of the episode and the book, the lynx comes back as a crazy twist. And then I thought that was really just funny how they did that, where they gave you that moment where you were like, this is probably just, you know, something random to name off. And then at the end of the book, you just feel defeated because you're like, really? It really came back? And it was just, I really, really liked how this book did it. And it's just overall a really, really great book. There were a couple things that I didn't like about it. Like I said, I didn't like the sound effects that the sponge did. I wish it wasn't a sponge that was the bad luck charm. But then again, it came from beneath the sink. It really sounds a little bit creepy, you know, when you think about it. And, you know, what comes to mind? A sponge, you know. It's, you know, something you see in a sink. So, I mean, what else could they do? You know, like a statue that they found, like this, you know, weird statue. You know, what could they do? And a sponge is what they choose, which is really funny. And yeah, it's just overall a really good book. I definitely recommend reading this book. I feel like a lot of people put too much pressure on Goosebumps books, like extreme bookworms. I'm not a bookworm myself, but because, you know, one of my only favorite series is Goosebumps, but I also read things like Diary of the Wimpy Kid, you know, non-fictional books, or other series that are out there that I have enjoyed before. Goosebumps is just my personal favorite, and I feel like bookworms that aren't always focused on Goosebumps, you know, they tend to put a little bit too much pressure on certain books. It Came From Beneath the Sink is a really, really good book. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would definitely give it a solid 7. There were parts of this book that I think could have been different. You know, rather than having this bad luck charm that is a gruel, or a sponge, I should say, because, you know, that's the object that it was. I feel like it should have been something different so it didn't seem so cheesy. But other than that, this book felt a lot more original than others. And yeah, I just kind of like the concept of this book. Really, really enjoyable. Like I said, I read it out of the reprint copy. Really, really great book. Definitely recommend it. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. If you want to, 8. I wouldn't put it any higher than that. But it's just such a great book. So my next book review, which I might just do tomorrow, I just kind of have to remember what the book was about. Because, like, I know what Welcome to Dead House was about. It's just, I need to kind of think through what the ending was, you know, how consistent the plot line was. because those are all critical things in Welcome to Dead House. It came from beneath the sink. If I could talk a little bit more, the plot line was pretty consistent. You know, you had your first act where they move in, the second act where they get all the bad luck, and the third act where they're trying to kill it. It really just flowed through really nicely. It didn't drag along like other Goosebumps books do. Like, I'm just gonna say this: Let's Get Invisible. I don't know how to explain it, but it just really dragged. The way to put it, and I don't like books dragging, because then it makes it boring. You know what I mean? It just feels the same throughout the book. This, however, changed a lot, and there were parts that you just did not expect to happen. So it came from beneath the sink. Great book. Hopefully you guys agree with me in the book review. If you have read this book, tell me what you would say about this book down in the comments below. Other than that, my next video should be my Welcome to Dead House book review. So I will be creating a new playlist for my book reviews. You know, that way we can assort these in the correct order, so you're not going down and you see it came from beneath the sink first, and then it's like Beware the Snowman. You know, it's just out of order. So I'll make a playlist to assort these correctly. And if you have any ghost debunking requests, please request those as well, because I was going to read off of the request that I got a while ago, and I figured that debunk was just not going to work. So if you have any requests for debunks, please put them down in the comments below as well. Other than that, like and subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time.